Hey everyone, my name is Josh and welcome back to your fourth stimulus check and news update. In today's update, we have a lot of news to get into, but first, if you would like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $2,300, make sure to claim them by clicking my link, which you'll find in the description box below. Okay, so jumping right into the update for today, for those of you that currently live in the state of California, the first batch of stimulus payments have already begun going out. Already, 600,000 direct payments have been issued worth approximately $354 million. If you didn't receive any of this money, not to worry, as the next round of payments will begin going out at some point in the middle of September. Eligibility for these payments are based on 2020 tax returns, and taxpayers who earn $75,000 or less will receive these payments. Also, for those claiming at least one dependent, they could receive an additional $500. Some of the other states that have also had their own relief check programs include Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, New York, Tennessee, and Texas. In Tennessee, Michigan, Georgia, and Florida, the payments went to teachers. In Texas, there was nothing actually statewide, but Fort Worth, Arlington, and Denton increased the pay of district employees by a certain percentage. In Irving, Texas, a $2,000 bonus was handed out to staff who returned to classrooms in September. For New Yorkers, if you're an undocumented worker, you're eligible to receive an undisclosed amount of financial aid as long as you made less than $26,208 in 2020. So a lot of different relief programs throughout the United States depending on where you live. And with that said, let me know in the comment section below whether or not you were eligible for any of these payments. Also, do you believe that your state should have more relief available? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Some other relief currently on the horizon, although not yet signed into law, is a tax credit for first-time homebuyers. During Joe Biden's presidential campaign, he promised a tax credit worth up to $15,000 for those looking to buy a home for the very first time. Being that the prices for homes have exploded during 2021, a credit like this one would certainly help a lot of people out. The fact is, many people have been saving like crazy over the past couple years to afford their down payment and other upfront costs, only to realize the homes they once could have afforded are no longer in the same price range. So back in late April, a bill was introduced called the First Time Homebuyer Act. This bill was introduced in the House and would create a refundable tax credit worth up to 10% of the purchase price or $15,000 for the purchase of a home. To be eligible for this credit, you would think the person would need to be a first-time homebuyer, and while that's true, you would also be eligible as long as you have not owned or purchased a home in the past 3 years. So if maybe you were previously a homeowner, but then you had to sell for whatever reason, as long as you sold your home and have been renting for the past 3 years, you would also be eligible for this credit. Additionally, you would also need to have an income at or below 160% of your area's median income and be purchasing a home at or below 110% of your area's median purchase price. Again, even though this bill hasn't been signed into law, it is still being talked about. Another first-time homebuyer bill currently stuck and not yet signed into law is the Down Payment Towards Equity Act of 2021. In this proposed bill, there would be grants worth up to $25,000 for down payments through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So this would actually be a grant rather than a tax credit. Now, in order to qualify for this money, you would need to meet certain income thresholds and also be a first-generation homebuyer. This means that in order to qualify, your parents or guardians must have never owned a home during their lifetime. So obviously there are definitely a lot more hoops to qualify for this relief. And this bill, again, is still in its draft form and hasn't yet even been introduced in Congress. So with that said, let me know in the comment section below whether or not any of these programs would be helpful for you, or if you're currently in the market to buy your first home. Now that I've gone over a couple of programs currently being talked about, of course, we do have some other stimulus programs, unfortunately, coming to an end. One of these is the $300 enhanced unemployment benefits, which will cut aid on September 6th. It's being estimated that around 7.5 million people will be losing this aid, which included various programs such as PUA, PEUC, and FPUC. Although the Biden administration has urged states to continue paying out this money, past the September 6th cutoff date, many states have already declined to do so. In fact, around half of these states actually cut the $300 plus up early, believing it to be a disincentive for people to return to work. Then, one of the states that you would normally expect to keep this aid going, Oregon, said that the money that they received has already been used on other priorities. With that said, while it looks like we probably won't see an extension of the unemployment benefits right away and they will lapse on September 6th, some progressive Democrats in Congress are looking to include an extension of those unemployment benefits in the $3.5 trillion bill, which they hope to pass through reconciliation. With that said, let me know in the comment section below whether or not you think the unemployment benefits should be extended through the rest of this year. In some other news, with the US troops officially withdrawn from Afghanistan, President Biden continues to tout the withdrawal as not only necessary, but also as an extraordinary success. Biden said that he's the fourth president who has faced the issue of whether and when to end the war, and that he refuses to send another generation of America's sons and daughters to fight a war that should have ended a long time ago. He said that it was a choice between leaving or escalating. The president also sent a message to ISIS-K saying, "We are not done with you yet."
I simply do not believe that the safety and security of America is enhanced by continuing to deploy thousands of American troops and spending billions of dollars a year in Afghanistan. But I also know that the threat from terrorism continues in its pernicious and evil nature. But it's changed, expanded to other countries. Our strategy has to change too. We will maintain the fight against terrorism in Afghanistan and other countries. We just don't need to fight a ground war to do it. We have what's called over-the-horizon capabilities, which means we can strike terrorists and targets without American boots on the ground, or very few if needed. We've shown that capacity just in the last week. We struck ISIS-K remotely, days after they murdered 13 of our service members and dozens of innocent Afghans. And to ISIS-K, we are not done with you yet. As Commander-in-Chief, I firmly believe the best path to guard our safety and our security lies in a tough, unforgiving, targeted, precise strategy that goes after terror where it is today, not where it was 2 decades ago.
So whether or not the withdrawal was really an extraordinary success, of course, will depend on who you ask, but one thing is certainly clear, is that the war on terror will most likely never end. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you would like to receive a couple of free stocks from Webull, make sure to quickly claim them by clicking my link, which you'll find in the description box below. To receive the first stock, you will need to fully open an account. Then to receive the second free stock, which will be valued up to $2,000, you'll need to make a qualifying deposit of at least $5. Even if you aren't all that interested in investing or continuing to invest at this point in time, you can always sell the free stocks that you receive and transfer that money, however much they're worth, right back to your bank account. So free stocks or free money is completely up to you. So once again, I hope everyone has a great and safe rest of their day, and I'll see you in the next video.